What if I told you that most people today are living in a state of quiet defeat? Not because they lack talent, but because they lack mental strength. We scroll, we compare, we envy, and then we wonder why we feel stuck, weak, and lost. We chase comfort, yet feel perpetually exhausted. We avoid pain, yet suffer daily. The truth is hard, and it is a truth the modern world desperately tries to hide from you. Comfort is killing us, slowly, quietly, while struggle, though harsh, holds the seed of real power. But here is the twist. This is not a new discovery. The ancient Stoics knew this long before smartphones, social media, or self-help books. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who ruled amidst plague and war, and one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Marcus Aurelius. That is not just a quote. That is a weapon, a mindset, a way to live in the center of chaos and remain unshaken. Stoicism doesn't make life easy. It makes you hard, unbreakable, unstoppable. In this video, we are diving deep into 8 brutal Stoic laws that will force you to level up mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. This is not inspirational fluff. This is real talk leading to real change. Each of these laws is drawn from raw Stoic truth, battle-tested in the arenas of ancient Rome, and still painfully relevant today. But before we begin, I need you to do one thing. If you are serious about growth, do not just sit back and watch this like another motivational clip. This is not background noise. This is your wake-up call. Engage with this. When a point hits hard, acknowledge it. Most importantly, do not skip any part, because even one missed law could cost you the clarity or courage you need in the moment that matters most. Let's begin. The Forge of Character, 8 Stoic Laws. 1. Embrace discomfort as your sparring partner. We have been taught to see pain as an enemy, to run from it. But the Stoics taught the opposite. Run toward it with eyes wide open. Think about your greatest moment of growth. Did it happen when you were comfortable, relaxed, and everything was easy? Or did it happen when life punched you in the face and you had to choose, rise or stay broken? Marcus Aurelius faced wars, betrayal, and illness, yet he led with an unshakable calm. He didn't avoid discomfort. He invited it to shape him. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius. This isn't poetic fluff. This is a law of the universe. Every obstacle is a chance to sharpen your will. Every delay, a test of your patience. Every rejection, a teacher of resilience. Modern life tells us, avoid pain. Stoicism whispers back, train for it. That cold shower is a test. That hard conversation is a path. That gym session when you're exhausted is where your character is being carved. Seneca, another Stoic master, practiced sleeping on the floor, eating plain food, wearing old clothes, not out of self-hate, but out of self-training. Why? Because then, when life strips away your comfort, you are not shocked. You are ready. See discomfort not as your enemy, but as your mirror. It shows you who you really are. From now on, see it as a sparring partner. It might bruise you, but it's building you. Choose one small, voluntary hardship today and do it. No debate. This is how warriors are forged. 2. Stop being owned by your emotions. How often do your emotions control your day? Someone says something rude, and you snap. Plans change, and your mood shifts. You feel lazy, so you skip the work. If you are ruled by your emotions, you are a slave to them. And the Stoics believe that slavery to emotion is worse than chains on your wrists. Any person capable of angering you becomes your master. Epictetus let that sink in. The person who cut you off in traffic, you just handed them your peace. That breakup, you handed it your identity. That one rude comment online, you gave it your joy. Stoicism doesn't ask you to ignore emotions. It teaches you to observe them, understand them, and then respond instead of react. That is the difference between a child and a Stoic. The child throws a tantrum. The Stoic sits in the storm and thinks. This is the control we rarely talk about. The power to not be shaken by what doesn't deserve our energy. It's brutal because it means you can't blame others anymore. But it's also empowering. You can feel anger without acting in anger. You can feel fear and still move forward. Real growth begins when you stop being a puppet and start being the master. 3. Stop expecting fairness. Life owes you nothing. One of the fastest ways to suffer is to expect life to be fair. You work hard, someone lazier gets the promotion. You love deeply, they walk away. You do the right thing and still get punished. And the anger comes. This isn't fair. But here is the Stoic truth. Fairness is a myth we create, not a rule of the universe. The Stoics never expected life to treat them kindly. They expected pain, loss, betrayal, change. And because they expected it, they were ready for it. When we say, this isn't fair, what we're often really saying is, I don't like how this feels, and I don't want to deal with it. You don't grow by expecting fairness. You grow by facing reality. The Stoic approach is radical responsibility, not because everything is your fault, but because how you respond is always your move. You don't control how life hits you, but you always control how you respond. That is what makes you unstoppable. 4. Focus on what you can control. The Stoics believed that your true power lies in a very small, specific place, inside your own mind. Everything outside of that, other people's opinions, the weather, the economy, let it go. Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. Epictetus here is the trap most people fall into. They try to control other people. They try to predict the future. They obsess over outcomes. And then they wonder why they feel anxious, powerless, and angry. Let's break it down. What is truly under your control? Your thoughts, your choices, your actions, your response. That's it. This shift in focus is massive. It gives you back your power. Imagine you're in a storm at sea. The Stoic doesn't scream at the wind. He grabs the wheel and navigates the ship. He is calm when others panic, focused when others complain. Every time you feel stressed, ask yourself this one simple question. Is this within my control? If yes, act. If no, let it go. 5. Practice voluntary hardship. In a world addicted to comfort, discipline becomes a superpower. The Stoics didn't wait for life to challenge them. They challenged themselves first. Not to suffer, but to strengthen. Not to punish, but to prepare. Set aside a certain number of days, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, saying to yourself the while, is this the condition that I feared? Seneca. This is chosen discomfort, to build a mind that won't crack under pressure. Most people today avoid discomfort at all costs. But when life gets hard, they break. They panic. The Stoic is already trained. Fast for 24 hours to remind yourself you control your urges. Take a cold shower when your mind screams no. Say no to a luxury you can afford, just to sharpen your self-restraint. These small choices stack. Over time, you become dangerous. Not because you're cruel to yourself, but because you realize the truth. Comfort doesn't make you stronger. Challenge does. 6. Detach from outcomes. Master the process. We are taught to obsess over results. Get the job, win the deal, hit the goal. But Stoicism flips the script. Detach from the outcome. Master your process. Why? Because the result is never guaranteed, but your effort is always within your control. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Epictetus. When you cling to results, you set yourself up for suffering. You launch a project, it flops, you feel worthless. You love someone, they leave, you collapse. But what if you fell in love with the work itself? The showing up, the writing, the building, the learning. That is the Stoic path. When you focus on the process, you always win, even if the result isn't what you imagined. And ironically, when you let go of needing the outcome, you start to achieve more. Because you're not desperate. You're not emotional. You're grounded in action. The moment you tie your worth to outcomes, you become fragile. The moment you tie your worth to discipline, intention, and focus, you become unstoppable. 7. Embrace death. Most people live like they're going to live forever. They waste time, delay dreams, stay stuck. But the Stoics meditated on death, not to be dark, but to wake up. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. Marcus Aurelius, that's not fear. That's freedom. It's the realization that life is short, and we don't get to choose when it ends. So every moment wasted is a moment we never get back. Memento Mori. Remember, you will die. When you truly realize your time is limited, you stop wasting it. You stop tolerating mediocrity. You start creating, loving, moving now, not later. The Stoic doesn't ignore death. He stares it in the face and says, "You will not catch me sleeping on my life." 8. Be a warrior for virtue, not approval. Let's be honest. Most people live for likes, praise, attention. But the Stoic doesn't move for the crowd. The Stoic move for virtue. Just that you do the right thing. The rest doesn't matter. Marcus Aurelius. Live with honor, even if no one sees it. Speak the truth, even if no one claps. Keep your word, even if it costs you. That's virtue. That's what builds a soul that can't be bought. Doing the right thing is often the hard thing. It's easier to lie, to impress, to chase approval. But every time you choose what's right over what's easy, you sharpen your edge. You build an identity that no one can take from you. In a world of image, the Stoic is real. In a world of noise, the Stoic is still. The moment you stop needing the crowd, you become the kind of person they follow anyway. If you have made it this far, it means something deep inside you is ready. Ready to evolve. Ready to leave behind the distractions, the weakness, the emotional chaos, and step into something greater. Not perfection, but power. Not domination over others, but mastery over yourself. That is the Stoic path. It does not offer you comfort. It offers you clarity. It offers you direction. It offers you a life of meaning, even when the world around you is crumbling. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, they didn't write for a world that was easy. They wrote to survive storms, battles, betrayals, and death with dignity. They taught us that true strength isn't in muscles or money. It's in the man who keeps his word, the woman who faces fear without flinching, the soul who does the right thing, especially when it's the hard thing. You don't need motivation. You don't need the perfect moment. You just need to begin right now. Train your mind, expect struggle, detach from outcomes. Hold your principles. Live like your time is running out. Because it is. When you walk the Stoic path, you become unshakable from within. And that kind of strength, it's rare, it's real, and it's yours. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments, a declaration. I am becoming unshakable. If this message resonated with you, if you felt a spark of truth, do not keep it to yourself. Like the video, share this with someone who's on their journey, and subscribe. We are building a community of thinkers, warriors, and real ones who want more than noise.